So here's the way religion works. It doesn't matter if it's Christianity, Islam, you know, whatever the religion is. It starts by laying out claims that it wants to portray as facts. So that's the first thing we need to understand, that every religion will come and make claims. Non-substantiated claims, but it's just a claim. And then the second thing is you have to believe, quote unquote, have faith, quote unquote, and also accept without question. So the first thing is that religion makes claims. The second thing, you have to accept it without question. The third thing, you have to be completely and totally committed to it without question. You have to eat, sleep, dream. Every aspect of your life has to be infused with this claim and belief, right? So that's the third thing. The fourth thing is you have to then change your whole mentality. You have to start acting against yourself. Like in the idea of Christianity, you have to act against yourself, because even the Paul, again, he was the quote unquote promoter of Gentile Christianity. You have to, put yourself under, according to him, subject your desires to fulfill the desire of his Jesus. The same thing happens in Islam. You have to subject yourself to 5 prayers a day. You have to see Muhammad as the last prophet. You have to see, Mecca as the most holy place that you should go and visit at least once in your lifetime as an Islamic or a Muslim person. That's the other side. Then you have to proselytize people. Try to convince those who don't hold your view. And I'm mainly talking about Christianity and Islam probably. You have to then go and try to convince people. So, in other words, you have to harass the people. Right? Doesn't that sound like some kind of brainwashing cult to you? Like, what does that really honestly sound to you? Somebody tell me, what does that sound like to you? It doesn't give you the freedom to be yourself. You have to be something else. And you have to adopt a person that you have never seen, heard, or experienced in your life. It's all in your cranium, all in your head. Paul himself said that Jesus came to him in a vision, and that he didn't have to go to anyone to authenticate the vision he had. Isn't that a self-proclaiming prophet? A self-proclaiming preacher? A self-proclaiming person? Sounds more like a narcissist, if you ask me. So, in this modern time, when we can now look back and look at the records, even in Buddhism, it's the same thing. You have to deny yourself. The Buddhist priests will never get married, and they claim that they don't have any partners or sexual encounters. It's looking at reality as a bad thing. It's looking at your desires as a bad thing. It's self-defeating. So, and then on top of that, you have to accept the deity. That I should have said the first. You have to accept the deity that the religion presents. Now in Buddhism, there's no deity, but there is Buddha, right? The person who supposedly started Buddhism. Now, am I against genuine people that find some comfort in these things? No, I'm not against the people. I'm against the deceptiveness of these religions, in the sense that they are, like in Christianity, it is seen as a literal truth, when really it's not. Same thing with Islam. Buddhism at least doesn't have a deity, right? But it still has a leader, and it still has rules and regulations for you to follow. So in a sense, it's also a cult. Cult, as I used to see it as an ex-Christian now, or when I was a Christian, was based on evangelical bias. So a cult would be a group that doesn't accept the Nicene Creed or the Apostles' Creed or the evangelical belief in being quote-unquote born again. All those things are cultic displays, cultic reasoning, cultic ideas. And the last and final thing is that you have to put aside your intellect. You have to put aside your logical thinking and put aside any doubts that you may have arising from logical thinking and accept this. I think as adults, I can understand a kid believing in Santa Claus, but how can an adult believe in Santa Claus? Because all these figures that we are promoting in the Bible, in the Quran, they're no different from Santa Claus. Because you have to go in there, read it, and believe that it's for you. Like the Pauline letters were written to you. Like I keep saying this because the more I think about it, is the more I think how ridiculous it is. Now, I'm telling you this. I'm not against Christian hope. If you want to hope in a person and it makes your life, makes you productive, makes you better, all good for you. But the thing about it is, it's when you're trying to strong arm other people. You know, I had people in my life when I was a Christian that you could never do enough to satisfy their concern about how authentic of a Christian you are. Isn't that something? Christians become Christians, and then they start judging the other Christians, condemning the non-Christians, having their own self-doubt as Christians, beating themselves up because they're so sinful. You know, if a guy looks at a woman and he feels a desire, he's already sinned. If a woman feels drawn to a man, she doesn't even have to, act it out. She's already sinned. It's all these natural things that happen to us. Yes, even married people will find other people attractive. It's not a sin. It's something, but you have decided to be with this one person, and that's all well and good. But self-condemnation is not healthy. It's not healthy mentally. It's not healthy emotionally. And that's part of the deconstruction. When you come to realize how destructive these religious thoughts are, you have to go through a deconstruction of what's in your brain, what's in your subconscious. It's crazy, man. But in the end, it's liberating.